Which leader earned your loyalty without ever demanding it? First Sergeant Brennan never raised his voice. Not once in the 18 months I served under him. When other NCOs were screaming their heads off, Brennan would just walk up quietly and ask, "What's the problem, soldier?" That soft-spoken approach should have made him seem weak. In the infantry, volume usually equals authority. But something about the way Brennan carried himself made you want to work harder, not because you were afraid, but because you didn't want to disappoint him. I learned why during our deployment to Iraq in 2007. We were stationed at a forward operating base outside Ramadi, pulling convoy security through the most dangerous roads in the country. IED attacks every week, sniper fire daily, guys getting wounded regularly. Morale was in the toilet. Half our squad was talking about not re-enlisting. The constant stress was eating everyone alive, and our previous first sergeant had just rotated home without replacement. Then Brennan showed up. Didn't make any big speeches about unit pride or military tradition. Just started walking around, having quiet conversations with individual soldiers. "How's your family doing?" he'd ask Private Newton, whose wife had just had their first baby. "Need help with that emergency leave paperwork?" When Specialist Crenshaw's girlfriend broke up with him through email, Brennan somehow found out and casually assigned him to a 3-day detail at the main base where he could call home and sort things out. Nobody knew how Brennan always seemed to know exactly what each soldier needed. He'd appear with extra batteries right before night patrols, show up with mail during the worst weeks, somehow arrange hot chow when we'd been eating MREs for days straight. The real test came during our worst month. 7 IED attacks in 2 weeks. 3 guys wounded, 1 seriously. Everyone was jumpy, exhausted, ready to break. That's when Brennan did something I'd never seen any leader do. He called the company together and said, "I know you're all scared. I'm scared too. Fear keeps you alive out here. Anyone who isn't afraid is either lying or stupid." Just acknowledging what we were all feeling changed everything. No rah-rah speeches about courage or duty, just honest recognition that we were human beings in an impossible situation. But Brennan wasn't finished. "I've been thinking about home a lot lately," he continued. "My daughter starts kindergarten next month. I want to see that. You all want to see your families again too. So here's what we're going to do." He laid out new patrol protocols he'd developed. Longer rest periods between missions. Mandatory buddy checks for stress symptoms. Rotation schedules ensuring nobody stayed on dangerous routes too long. "Command doesn't need to know about these adjustments," he said quietly. "This is between us. We take care of each other and everybody goes home." Those changes saved lives, maybe mine included. We finished the deployment with 0 additional casualties and the highest morale rating in the battalion. When Brennan rotated home, half the company volunteered to extend their deployments just to keep serving under him. Guys who'd been planning to get out were suddenly talking about making the Army a career. I stayed in for 8 more years, eventually becoming a first sergeant myself. Always tried to lead the way Brennan had taught me. Quiet conversations instead of loud orders. Taking care of soldiers instead of demanding they take care of themselves. But here's what I didn't know until years later. Brennan's daughter never started kindergarten that year. She'd been diagnosed with leukemia 3 months before he deployed. Doctors said she had maybe 6 months to live. Brennan could have requested emergency leave, could have gone home to be with his family during the worst time of their lives. Instead, he stayed with us because he knew we needed leadership that month more than anything else. His wife told me at a reunion that Brennan spent every spare minute researching treatment options, making calls to specialists, fighting insurance companies from a dusty fob in Iraq, while somehow never letting his personal crisis affect how he took care of his soldiers. The girl survived, 17 years old now, healthy and planning to join the Army herself. Says she wants to serve soldiers the way her dad served his. Brennan retired as a command sergeant major, never once mentioning what he'd sacrificed for us during that deployment.